everybody.
That's a cute little intro. I like it.
Oh, thank you. That was a Cassie Carey production. I just
Cassie
said I want
Carey.
something with the ocean and really short. That's what she came up with.
There you go. I love
Short
it.
and sweet. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good.
Are you recovered from the retreat?
I feel better today than I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like the first day where I feel like I'm fully back in my body or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You look beautiful. You look really pretty in pink.
Oh, my pink. Yeah. Thank
That's
you.
your color, girl.
Oh gosh, gotta love
So
pink.
what were your feelings about the retreat? How did you feel like it went, and what were your favorite bits?
My favorite bits was being with everyone. I mean,
I know.
in person, and the incredible feeling of when you're in a room full of just love and light and like-minded people, and that just are sharing that light with each other. It's incredible. Like we could have just sat in the room the whole time and still walked away going, wow, that was so cool. I mean, because the energy shared, it's a shared experience between everyone there. And it was just so wonderful so that was one of my favorite bits, was just being in the same space. And then, being with the other facilitators,
Right.
You and Kevin and Andrea, and it was just to be able to kind of do our thing together, and it was just I loved it.
I did too. And I share the same thing, that just being with everybody, getting to meet people finally, and being in their presence, and everybody being so open and so supportive of each other. And yeah, and there were moments I just kind of had to just sit and take everything in, because I just didn't want to forget a thing. I didn't want to forget a face. I didn't want to forget a thing.
Each moment.
So beautiful. Yeah.
And I remember my spirit team just saying, just continue to stay in the moments. And it reminded me of when my kids were growing up, that I didn't ever want to miss the moments. Like every moment meant something to me. And it felt very similar to that every moment meant something to me on this retreat. And it felt like all our first world worries just didn't even exist, because we were all in this space on this cloud, and being able to, it was cold, whatever, you know what I mean? That's not important right now. What's important right now is this moment right here that we have together. And so all those little pesky first world things that like to knock on our doors just didn't mean, you know what I mean? It just
absolutely didn't. It also shows you how much, or at least it showed me, I should speak for myself, it showed me how much control we do have over our reality, right? Because those things that we talk about, about the politics and the which exist, and the issues going on around the world exist, for sure they do, but that there are ways to keep your reality as positive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible. And we all have times when we have to face challenges, and life throws us a curve, and we all experience pain and death and all of these things. But in those in-between moments when we're not experiencing those things, you really can kind of create your own little oasis, whether it's at a retreat or it's in your, a spot in your house that is that's kind of your sanctuary, where you can meditate and tune in. And, but it was a real lesson in that, because I came away feeling very detoxed from the news and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that it's just a really healthy reminder to take those breaks.
That's right. It is.
Because
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
now, I mean, we all have our ways of clearing that off of us, whether it's taking a shower and you just literally in your shower are saying, as this water is cleansing, it's also very mind, body, spirit cleansing as well.
Mhm.
Anything that no longer serves me and is weighing me down um, uh, is just being washed off.
Yeah.
So that's another opportunity to do that. But really, really do want to encourage everyone to be purposed about that, I guess is the word.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that was really, at least in the forefront for me at the retreat, was gratitude. I was so grateful to be there. I was
Mm-hmm.
grateful for the nature. I mean, the amphitheater. Sorry, not the canyon. The
Yeah,
amphitheater.
I couldn't remember the name the other day. I'm like, what was that word? Amphitheater.
Yes, amphitheater. It was breathtaking. We
Mm-hmm.
went finally the last day. Julie and I, my sister and I, were leaving, and she's like, "Let's just take a minute and go up and kind of walk around and it was absolutely, your eyes almost, you couldn't quite take it in. It was just beautiful. And so the gratitude for the place, the people, the people that put so much work in and time, and then the people that were so receptive to everything. We had people that were healing from things, whether it was physical things, trauma, old wounds, emotional stuff. It was really amazing. It was just really amazing. And but gratitude was really all over it for me.
Yeah. And it was incredible. And y'all, I walk with a cane, and I got off my plane when I got home, and I'm like, this is the first time I've been without pain I can't even remember.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like running through the airport like nothing. Like I didn't, I didn't. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I knew a lot of healing was happening because I did the healings with Kevin. And so whenever you do healing, that healing energy is moving through your own body. And I knew people were also praying for me. I know all of you all were praying for me. I know you were sending me healing energy. I felt it. I knew it. But and so that's been how many days now that we've been back? 4 days now?
Yeah.
And the pain just came back today.
Oh no. Okay.
But I've had 4 days. I'm so grateful for 4 days, you guys. So grateful.
Great. That's so great.
But it also tells me that healing is possible. That if I really do some intensive focused healing, but I'm grateful for the 4 days I got. I can't tell you.
We'll start praying again. We need to get back into it. And yeah, huge, Kevin.
Carol said the same. Carol, I can't. I'm like clicking like I can click on the thing. I don't have access to click on your names, but Carol Lamb.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Debbie, me too. I felt so good. Even with the cold, I was able to walk the path to get some great pics of Bryce. Yeah.
See, that cold was no joke.
Yeah. That was cold.
On any aches and pains. But yeah, isn't that so cool, Carol? I love it. Yeah.
I love it too. Yeah, and Kevin and Andrea were wonderful. It was so fun to meet everyone in person. I mean, it was fun to meet. I've met Debbie before. Debbie. But to meet Andrea, Kevin, and spend time with Lazan. Lazan was our helper, and Julie did a great job she had so many treats for everybody all the time. It was really a lot of fun.
Really cool.
We hope there'll be other ones in the future. So
next retreat in Jamaica, Jack says.
Yes. Somewhere nice and warm. Hawaii. Somewhere nice and warm. All right, guys. So I wanted to have Debbie on because we were chatting about Reiki, and it's something I'm very curious about. and interested in. I'm not a Reiki practitioner, but it was interesting. I went to a new dentist. I won't mention the name, but she said they practice Reiki and they practice meditation. It's just not Western dental, but it's a Western style dentist, regular dentist. It's not, anything different. It's not alternative or anything like that. And she said they can lower people's, she has seen them through Reiki lower people's blood pressure by 10 points. 10 points in just a little while.
Yeah.
And so it's moving into mainstream, but I wanted to ask you first about Western medicine, because Western medicine seems like, especially I'll say in the United States especially, it's a little different in the UK, but in the United States especially, it seems like have a complaint, throw a medication at it, have a complaint, throw a medication at it. And it just seems like that's what we do. And then we have the commercials where you can sue the medication because it wasn't quite the right medication, or it was, not best for you.
The list of side effects kill you.
Yes, exactly. Now in the UK, what I noticed is a lot of their commercials are about extra services they offer that are free, that help people, deal with cancer, or help people deal with certain things they may be having. And it's just such a more compassionate way to be. And I think that to get that compassion into our medical life, it's gonna be universal healthcare. It has to be, because that's where you really do get where people aren't just doing things for profit. And do you feel like that is part of the big problem, is the profit?
Well, yeah, it's the greed, the pharma and like that, and they keep it. My sense and what I've felt like my team telling me is that what keeps us kind of in a challenged position with this is the greed and the pharma, and they are the puppet masters over our whole medical system, which is so sad, because the loss of life that doesn't have to be lost because of this. Because I do feel also that they do have medicine that actually would be helpful, that they hold back as well, because then it'll take away the need for these other medicines, right?
Right.
So there's true medicines that can come in with a more holistic feel to them, but they won't allow those to come in because they still want to sell their drugs.
Right.
That keep us sick, that keep us needing more. But, so I do feel that. I'm not against progress. I'm not against medicine. But I am against it when it's holding you hostage, when there are other opportunities. But we're not free. We live in the land of the free. I don't believe that. I believe that we are all prisoner to greed.
And it seems like when you do have something like a universal health care where there, and it's not what this is all about, but it just keeps going back to that. When you do have something like that, because you're trying to watch the money aspect, you're trying to keep things down because it's taxpayers paying for it, that they tend to work more in preventative, eating healthier. I remember in the 70s doing having to do year after year, the food pyramid, right? Teaching you how to eat healthy, or trying to, maybe making sure, when we would go play outside and come back before dark. That was the thing we did. But we don't have that really, or that encouragement really anymore. You have a very sedentary society now, including myself. I sit here on Zoom with you, but very sedentary, right? And then we also have the fast food aspect, the food.
We want everything.
We have
everything fast. So we want everything. Even when we get on the computer, if it starts running a tad slow, we get irritated because we're so used to everything being boom, boom, boom now.
Absolutely. And And so I think, being able to prevent some of these things, you can prevent certain types of diabetes, right? If you,
Right.
there are certain things you can do that don't have to happen, or helping people for free stop smoking, just things like that would just be so helpful. And so, I'm sorry, I'm like in the sun now. So helpful, and so are so needed, and would really help people not have to go through things like major cancer things, or getting
Yes.
things removed because lung tissue and whatever else because of smoking, just things like that are just preventative, that would be so helpful. But it seems like we've moved away from that, and now it's just a pill for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And sometimes I like Ellen brought up about the insurance
Keep
companies.
talking. I'm just going to move this real quick, so I'm not stripes over me. Okay. Hold on.
That decide our fates, and I just feel it's true that they're the puppet masters over our lives, whether or not we can receive care, and if we don't have the money to do like more of a natural way, natural care, we're stuck.
Yeah,
It's just unfortunate, but yes.
it is. And so, how did you get started in Reiki, Debbie?
In Reiki. Okay. So, part of my story in this whole metaphysical type journey that I've been on my whole life, being born, being able to hear and see into the spiritual realm and travel and do all that. I did whatever I could to continue to grow my spiritual self. And but what was offered to me in my perspective, in my world, was I became obsessed with hands-on healing, like in a Christian church. And because that was something that I was so passionate about, and I knew that we had the ability to heal one another, or bring in that healing energy there. But the perspective I had was what was offered to me in my world, and that was hands-on healing, like a more of a, I don't know what you call it, like a Pentecostal or whatever. And so that's kind of where I got my start with it. My hands were always hot. I was always, even when I was a tiny, tiny child, 3 years old, I'd be rubbing people's backs, and I was always wanting to. And I knew that when I was doing that, I was healing them, whatever in language I had at the time. So it's always kind of been one of those natural, stronger abilities that were kind of always present there, and desire to help others. And so, and then, when this world opened up to me, this perspective, Reiki was one of the offerings there. And I thought, that is for me. That's for me. I want to step into that energy modality of energy healing. And so that's the direction I went.
And can you explain to people that don't know what Reiki is, what it actually is?
Okay. So looking at the word Reiki, if you break it down, you have Rei and then Ki. So Rei means loosely the divine, and or universal, whatever word you want to put in there. So Rei means the divine or universal, the universal energy. And Ki means life force energy. So Reiki is the divine life force energy. And so you are a conduit for that. And so basically you are using spiritually guided life force energy is what you're doing. And Ash says universal life force energy. Yes, so Ash must be a person. And so literally, you guys, if family, if you all want to do this, just go like this and start creating an energy ball. So you have energy coming from here and energy coming from here. And you can literally start building, feel that heat, feel that kind of resistance, and you can build up that energy ball right here.
Mm-hmm.
That is life force. That's the life force energy within you that you can maneuver and move. And so that's where you're drawing on that. And so
it's very interesting because at the retreat, I taught psychometry, where you read objects with your hands.
mm-hmm.
And, we activated our hands, and it was like that. It was, we kind of like did an energy thing with that. And for me, I could feel, at the bottom of my hands down here, I could feel a vibration. It felt like vibration, this is what it always feels like when I do psychometry. It feels like vibration in my palms.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can almost hear a hum going through my body.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Ooh,
but that's what it feels like. So is it the same energy, or is it similar energy that is happening when you do Reiki?
Yeah. That's the life force energy. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
That's so fascinating. And I have, you guys can ask questions and we'll kind of answer as we go. But I had a question from.
It's like this healing fire that's in all of us.
Right.
And that vibration, you experience it that way.
Mm-hmm. Gina says, question, I was taught we need to ask permission to send Reiki healing energy. Can we ask the person's soul for permission? I send energy when I see accidents.
Yes. Gina, great question. So sometimes we don't have the ability to kind of go up to someone and say, hey, can I send you?
Right.
But you can literally ask soul to soul and get a yes or no. And when I worked in the hospital, I worked in a hospital for many years, and spent a lot of time in the ER. So I did a lot of asking soul to soul if I could send that life force energy, that healing energy to people. And I have gotten a no before, soul to soul.
Really?
Yep. And
what would the reason be for a no? Just, I don't like it?
No. It's almost like they didn't want they wanted to be where they were at. They didn't want any healing.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to exit.
Right. Okay. So they're kind of, it's okay. Yeah, I understand. And I just wanted to see with Craig's question here. He's saying, I feel heat as I place my hands on a picture of my guide Clara. Is this psychometry?
That definitely is your life force energy coming through there. Mm-hmm. That
and maybe the connection between them too. That
it could be.
It could be the connection. But
what's happening there is you're using your life force energy to connect into something.
Okay.
So you can use that with the intention of healing, or you can use it for connecting.
Okay, right. I want to add in this question, but I do have another question I'm going to ask you. But Gina says, I got a no once too, basically told to mind my own beeswax because the illness was part of a growth experience. So I guess that's another reason.
Yeah.
Okay, and Leslie says soul contracts and free will choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just seeing if there's anybody else.
So know that energy is something that cannot be created or destroyed. It just is. So when you tap into it, it's not that you're creating it. You're not. It just it's already there. It already
Mhm.
is, and it's not anything that you can destroy. It just is.
It just is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, have you used Reiki to help with mental health? Does it help with, is it mental and, can you help with the mental and emotional health?
Yes, 100%. I have used it for depression,
Mm-hmm.
and suicidal ideation and all of those. Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting. And
Anxiety, mm-hmm. All those.
interesting. So, Tony says one Reiki master did an intensive treatment years ago, which was so powerful that I felt like my organs were cooking. You can give feedback during a session, and the practitioner can adjust accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. They can dial it back, and you also have the power to dial it down yourself. So if so I've also done third eye opening. I had someone who had years ago. I was still in San Diego, and I had a Reiki hut. You guys, I had a Reiki hut in my backyard. I created a whole.
Oh,
It was
how neat.
not a she shed. It was a Reiki hut,
Uh-huh.
and so I did a third eye opening for someone, and it was so, I guess, so intense it caused a headache, and so when they left, they were experiencing a severe headache, and I had them just picture those old dials that we have for cooking, and I just had them dial it down a bit.
Dial it down.
And so they were able to dial that energy down a bit. It won't stop the third eye because they were afraid, I don't want it to stop what it did, and it won't. They just dialed down the energy of it a little bit. And so because you have to understand, as we adjust, we're adjusting to the new vibration or the new energy that's moving. And so our bodies need to adjust to it. And so sometimes it takes a little bit. So they'll dial it down. It'll be spread out over a few days. So after a Reiki session, after a healing session or a session of Reiki movement, energy movement, it'll continue to move over the next few days. So you have to drink a lot of water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And Martha's saying that she's backing you up on what you're saying. Yes, abilities can begin in a Reiki class because you're opening, I guess you're opening yourself up to it, right?
Yeah.
You're in a different way.
Right. And when you take a Reiki class, you get attuned to the different levels. And so you'll get attunement Reiki level. There's 3 levels. So you have Reiki level 1, and you'll get attunement to that Reiki level.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do it all in one day because that's a lot.
Right.
So so I do it in most people, when they teach it, it's they spread it out a little bit, so you aren't all of a sudden with all this attunement to this new energy and life force moving through you differently. The life force is always there, but you're attuning it to this new movement of the life force.
And so when you teach a class and you're teaching it online, how does that work? Clearly you can do long distance Reiki healing because it happens all the time.
Yes.
And so is that part of the learning process? Because it's different, right? When it's being taught online versus in person. So how is the process different when it's online versus in person? How do you change it?
Right. So in person, you have all that time where that practicing on each other in the room, on the beds, doing all that, and doing the symbols. The attunement is the attunement part will be the thing that's a little bit more tricky, but very doable. Because again, there's no such thing as space or time. So we're able to do that attunement with the symbols, because this is very symbol led. And so there's symbols that you will be attuned to specific symbols.
Right. It's weird because as we're talking about this, I'm getting a really low hum.
You're probably supposed to take the class, Kim.
That's what it is. I think that is what it is. But it's really weird because I feel like it's almost like just talking about it.
You're being activated.
Something. Yeah, it does. It's really weird.
Activated. So I'm going to share with you one of the symbols. This is the first symbol that you learn, and all the Reiki people will go, "Yay!" Our Choku Rei. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And so that's the power symbol. And so it's directing that energy directly. So this is the first Reiki symbol. This is the first one that you are attuned to.
Okay.
Called Choku Rei. And basically Choku means straight or direct. And so you do the symbol over the areas, and you are pulling in that universal divine life force directly to that area. So if you're over here, or if you're on the third eye or the heart chakra or this, so over the energy centers, you're calling that in to that specific directly to whatever area that you're doing that. Anyways, yeah. So
that just Susan.
Hi, Kevin.
Susan was saying, "Wow, that you can help with depression." I think that's a big. You know, at least I didn't think of that until that it actually could heal emotional things, mental things. I know that in our you guys were healing trauma, like old things, stuff from the past being, kind of worked on and helped and released. A lot of releasing going on at the retreat. And so, hey, Kevin. Is that what you just said? Hey, Kevin. Hey,
yeah.
Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah. So, but that's something people are just like, I think they're like me. They didn't think about that, but of course that would be part of the ability to heal, is healing that that trapped trauma energy.
Yes. It's just such a beautiful, gentle way of bringing in this healing and movement in your energy centers.
Gentle. I think that's a great point, because we again, with Western medicine, everything is so it's so like it's either invasive or it can be really, you take those certain types of medication, it really does it's a harsher way to deal with things. And I agree with you, that gentleness of hands-on healing, Reiki, it is very gentle. I love that. Donnell asked if you could talk about the difference between Reiki and versus the Kundalini energy, or is it the same thing?
Well, I mean, the Kundalini, I believe that's, your life force there, right? Life force energy. But it's Reiki is a form of moving energy, specifically. And I use the Usui method, spiritual method. So there's some different methods or whatever, but it's a healing energy.
So is Reiki more, you're transferring it, and then Kundalini is more internal?
That's an internal. Yeah, your Kundalini energy is internal. Now you can tap into that with Reiki. When you're doing Reiki, you can tap into the person's Kundalini.
Okay.
Yeah, but the difference is Reiki is a method used to move energy for healing.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. I think Donnell's like, okay, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Kim and Debbie. You're welcome.
And Kundalini doesn't use the symbols and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
It just is.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what Gina said too. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
And so another thing that I wonder about too, if this is movable life force energy, could it be applied to the earth? Could it be applied to Mother Earth?
Yes. Well, yes, 100%.
And what kind of how would that look? Would it look just like you're healing a person, or would your intention have to be going to a specific place or the center of the earth, or what would that look like if you did a healing for the earth or a Reiki healing on the earth?
You can just focus on the planet and just go, on the earth, and just send out that intention for the earth and spend time doing the symbols and that kind of thing. Now, when I teach my classes, I teach the foundational piece of Reiki and the methods, but I also help people bring in their own modalities to it. So it becomes your own.
Right.
And so you can follow the book and do just like what they say, right. But I encourage, there's purpose in that, why you would be doing it, right? And so you're bringing your own modalities to it, your own magic self to it, to bring in however you want it to run and look. This is just a foundation for you to use and start a platform to start from, right? But yes, planet, yes, you can focus on specific parts of the planet and bring that energy in, or globally, or specific things. If you, I had a tree out front that I every day I was trying to save her, and I kept her. I do believe that it made a difference. She stayed with us 5 years longer than she should have.
Wow.
They said, oh, she'll be dead by the end of this season, and I kept her for 5 more years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you wanted to talk us through a practice.
I did.
Do that? Okay.
Yeah. I thought it'd be fun to do. It's called Kenyo Koho. I'm probably saying it wrong. Terry, you can pronounce. I bet you probably can pronounce this better. Kenyo Koho, and this is an exercise for cleansing and protection by clearing your physical and energy bodies.
Okay.
And you use this for protection. I thought we could do it together.
Okay.
And someone says I use Reiki on my kitty. Yes.
Yeah.
And our fur babies all the time. Every time I go to someone's house, I'll do it on their fur babies without the family knowing. And
well, when Lucy got really, really sick, and I let everybody know, I know without a doubt that the people that were doing Reiki were praying for her. They kept her around at least another year.
Yeah.
It honestly was. It was just people sending her life force, because she did not have any. She really didn't. She was fading so quickly. And it was just people sending Reiki energy, Reiki healings, and healings from her. It kept her around for another year. And she literally passed away 2 or 3 days before Cassie came home. She was my little angel during that awful period when we were separated from Cassie, but they literally kept her around till Cassie came home. It really was miraculous. So, yeah.
I love our family. I tell you, they just,
I know.
their
I know.
love
It still
and
brings
light.
tears to my eyes because, yeah, that saved me. It saved her. Yeah, sweet little Lucy. All right. So,
Okay, so we're gonna do a little cleansing and clearing of our physical and energy bodies now. So everybody get ready, get comfy, wherever you're at. You can stand or sit up straight, but just make sure you're comfortable. And we're gonna bring our hands into gosh, gushu. I always forget what that's called. I always pronounce this wrong, but bring your hands into gusho.
is it just prayer position? Like a
Prayer
prayer
position.
position? Okay.
Prayer position. So this is where you're going to start. And so in prayer position, but you connect your thumbs and your pinkies, and then you move it into the prayer position right here in your heart.
Okay.
So we start there. And you set your intention to begin the cleansing by thinking or saying something like, I begin my cleansing my body and aura now. Or you can say, I begin Kenyoko Ho.
Okay.
And then at this point, you place your right hand over your left shoulder. And you're going to swipe it down across your body to your right hip.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take your your left hand, onto your right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the same action, swiping it across your body to your right hip, the left hip. Just the opposite, you guys. You just do this. So you're swiping the energy. Then you're going to go and you're going to take, and then you're going to do the same thing, but on your arm, down your arm, swiping the energy. And go over here and you swipe that energy off again over here, like a lightly sweeping your hand, right? Lightly sweeping your hand. And so you repeat this 3 times. So we'll start again. Across the body, sweeping. One more time. Sweeping and sweeping. And then you're coming back into, so very quick action, but can be done at any time. And thanking for the cleansing. So super easy and gentle way of cleansing off those energies off your body, and both physical and energy bodies. I feel
light. I feel lighter. I feel like light. There's a lightness to it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's really interesting because it feels like it does feel lighter. I feel lighter. That's the way I put it. Mm-hmm. I want to see how people feel in the chat. Did you feel anything? And these things, I think you get more just as you practice, as like a reader, as much as, I pray and meditate, these feelings you get and the little things that you feel are very subtle. But as you get them more and more, they're not as subtle. Terry says a big buzz. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a tingling. Had I done that action maybe, 7 years ago, I might not have picked up on, I feel lighter. But as you get more and more in tune, mm-hmm. these things that are very subtle, these little adjustments and movements and things that are very subtle from spirit, they get louder and louder and louder. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing this for the first time, you're like, I don't feel anything. That's okay, because this stuff, like I said, it's very subtle, and it's almost like you train yourself to feel those subtle energies, and then they become not so subtle because you're so in tune with it, right?
Used to it.
Yeah. So Annie Bear says chills. Mm-hmm. What says? Andy says, I feel like Reiki is such a beautiful way to focus healing energy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and Lainey is saying exactly, the practice makes it better, and it does. It, to me, it just makes it more obvious when
Mm-hmm.
you first start to do stuff and you're first delving into this. I always tell people everything's very subtle, but the more you tune in and the more aware you are, the bigger it gets. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes less subtle because you open up in a different way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um,
And uh, I
Martha
have
says intention helps
uh,
too. Yeah.
intention. Yes. So, this opportunity to, you do learn to do distant Reiki. That's part of what you learn when you take the classes. But I always, I always enjoyed doing it in person. But when COVID came, it offered the opportunity to really do a lot more distant Reiki. And doing that, because in everything, we all continue to grow and expand. And how my spirit team expanded this practice for me is, and this is natural for me because I've always been someone who did the astro projection. But when I do the healings, I literally go to the person and I meet up with them uh, with their higher selves and do a lot of connecting in that way. And it's been very interesting in my practice anyway.
And this stuff is, I mean, I think about when you were doing, just for you personally, Debbie, when you were we were in Sedona, and we had that very intense experience in our room
Oh,
where we had a lot of energy and people talking to us at night, songs, chanting, we could hear it all.
you guys.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Debbie was bubbling us up. And I have never heard that term before, but she's like, I'll bubble us up. And honestly, it's the only way we got any sleep. So this stuff, when we're talking about moving energy or creating a bubble or all these things, they're really real. They really, really are. And sometimes we don't have those types of, or we don't all have those types of really intense experiences where you're like, oh, this stuff is really real and it really works. But honestly, we wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
any sleep had you not done that.
Yeah. And again, it's just like, it just opens our perspective. Every day we get opportunities of like, that's new. Okay. And our
Yes.
perspectives, everything grows. I love it. I feel like a question came in here and missed.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Here's one that says, hypnicity. Do you want clients to tell you what needs work, or do you prefer intuitive work?
I do both. What I do is I have the clients put think of their intentions, right? So you have your own intentions going into it, but I follow my spirit. I follow your spirit team, my spirit team. I just follow where they're guiding me to go, and they'll let me know. Oh, this is. I know that they want to focus on this, but we need to focus here. That happens a lot. Terry's asking about. Oh, there it is.
Debbie, are you remote viewing them?
So it's similar to remote viewing, except that I'm interacting. So there's an interaction between the two of us in that space where I literally am interacting back and forth. I've literally danced with people in that space, like getting them up to dance and move and do things like that. And so it's more of an interaction than what I would consider remote viewing, where I'm viewing it from like a higher space and I'm looking down on something or
Right.
anything like that. I'm literally interacting with them like this.
What does it feel like to have an astral experience?
Um,
Do you lift out of your body? What is it? What does
okay,
it feel
so
like?
this type of astral experience is a little bit different than when you astral travel, like
Okay.
where you're just about.
Yeah.
This feels a little bit different than that. This is more, I want to say, contained. I don't know what
Right.
to say. It's more ethereal than where I physically, literally, my soul leaves my body and I'm flying about. It's very different. It's very more. It's much more. I don't know what to say. Controlled. To me, anyway. I don't know. Other
Right.
people might have better experiences of astral travel. It's
Uh-huh.
not always my favorite thing. Because it feels a little bit more out of control. But
Uh-huh.
this is more controlled. I don't know how else to say it. Focused.
Okay. And then Kerosene 1022. Debbie, do you have any interesting or meaningful stories you could share about how you helped someone?
Oh boy. Um, these questions are always so hard for me. The ones where, can you remember like the most amazing story that you were part of? And Kim knows me. I never remember like the next day.
Right.
Anything. I can leave a session and not remember anything, but let me try to think of something. See if something comes to me. Kerosene.
I don't, there's one, there was, I mean, and this is just recent, I'm sure there's probably about a bazillion, but one that was recent that I know of was this woman came up and said, it was a session, I believe, with you and Kevin were working on her. And she couldn't cross, like she was standing up and couldn't cross her legs over. She's like, I have not. And she came up to me and just crossed her legs. And she said, I have not been able to do this in years. I don't even know how this is happening.
Yeah,
But this is what
yeah,
it's. And so
that
I
was
think that,
beautiful.
yeah, sometimes it's almost so quick and so miraculous that people are not really sure what to make of it. It's like,
They're like,
what is going on?
I do recall.
Oh, Michelle Tom. Okay, thank you, Michelle.
That was me, Kim. Yeah. So Michelle, it's so funny because
Yeah.
literally Michelle, and that was the most recent thing that I can remember. I've been doing this for many years, so it's hard for me to really think of like a bunch of stories, but
Right.
which is weird. But I literally, my spirit team just releases me or something. Like there's something wrong with me with that, I guess, maybe. But anyway, I did think I saw Michelle's face. I saw Michelle's face when in this question. And that was so, what a blessing for Michelle. Kevin and I were all just kind of in tears after the session. And we were just kind of all like in the moment of just the amazement of that, of spirit moving like that, of that, the energy force moving so beautifully. I can say that working with Kevin and JJ as well was pretty cool. And when you have that intensity of life force moving, you can only expect beautiful miracles.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was so happy for her. And Summer asked if your class is full.
Okay, so my class is not full, and in fact, I postponed it a week. So we are starting. So no matter what the website says, you can still sign up, and our classes start on 11/11.
Okay. All right. 11. Oh, perfect.
Isn't that nice? I love it.
That is perfect. And I'll have the information, Debbie. I'll have you send it to me and I'll put it in the description so people can find it. And I know that you want to keep it kind of intimate, and you don't want it's not going to be a huge class.
It's
going
not
to
a
be
huge class, but
class.
yeah, I like it intimate, so it's not a huge class, but there are a few spots left. So
Me too. I
We'd
like
love
that
for you
too.
to join the class.
And Craig said that, yes, Debbie drew that pain out of me, just like Mr. Spock on Star Trek, that fast. And I had to remind myself that this was for real. And it does. It challenges your, it challenges your, what you believe is possible, because it really can be one of those things where it's like, it plays with your logical mind, right? This can't be happening, but it's happening. This is happening. Right.
And he said, I felt thirsty afterwards. That's the thing. You got to drink a lot of water. There's a lot of energy moving.
He said it made him cry. Yeah, it's
I have to fix that
amazing.
Summer. I'm so sorry. That's not the way it's supposed to sign up for technology. Summer, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll fix that on the website.
Okay. She's saying it appears that you have to sign up each week, but that's not the case. It's for the whole course, right?
Yeah, it's for the whole course.
And how many weeks is the course, Debbie?
It's 5 weeks.
Okay.
Starting on the 11th.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. That's so neat. How exciting. Oh yeah, that's what Kevin is saying too. Healing brings up our belief system. Absolutely. Absolutely does. It can really challenge you, but it's also the way it's all part of this ascension, right? We're moving on, we're moving into other ways of healing, into other ways of being, into other ways of understanding our world, how we fit into it. All of it is coming up. And so, yeah, it's all there. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for talking about this. It's a conversation I'm going to have, hopefully have Kevin on talking about healing as well.
Good.
Something I'm very interested in, because it is miraculous. And I think it's something that is open for people to experience, especially if they're disappointed or they can't find their way with Western medicine. It's another way to go. It's another thing to try, at least, and be open to. Yeah.
And we are powerful beings. Again, moving. I mean, the divine life force in us. And so, yeah. And yeah, beautiful.
Any parting words, Debbie?
Well, I encourage everyone to step into their divine life force. Acknowledge it, feel it, practice with it. Put it. You can go put it on yourself, and just by acknowledging it, and it'll start tapping you on the shoulder more, and also do that energy cleansing.
I'm going to add that into my own routine. I already decided, as soon as I was done like that, I've got to do this all the time. It's great. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and chatting. Have a good one, everybody. And we'll see you. Are we doing Ladies Night, Debbie? Are we going to be doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ladies Night back this Monday. We don't know. I think, is it your week? I think
it's my week.
Okay. So on Debbie's channel, and we'll see you on Ladies Night, and we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a good Sunday. Bye.